Hey everybody, my name is Jacob Brayllcs, and I'm here with Colin cd-mangaka Neimer. We are going to be casting the EUCS games that were unbroadcasted today, and I'll be doing color casting, and Colin will be doing play-by-play. Uh, the first game of the day is Ex Nihilo versus Denial. Ex Nihilo is a team that were not qualified for the tournament originally. However, they didn't buy Copenhagen Wolves spot, but they bought some of the players, allowing Copenhagen Wolves not to be able to retain a roster. This was reported by Richard Lewis on the Daily Dot. Therefore, their roster made it in. The top laner is Azazus. The jungler is Impaler, formerly of Coast and Super Hot Crew. Godzuki is the mid laner. AD carry is Crazy Caps, who had a little stint with Dignitas EU and Lemon Dogs. The support is Noxiac, formerly of Meet Your Makers. And then on the other side is Denial. They have been in league for a while. They're back. Wicked is their top laner, and he formed this team called Team Gravy after he was kicked out of Elements. And this is not the original roster. They've made some roster changes. Wicked in the top lane, Batonjak in jungle, Kozq in the mid lane, Woolite, which is the most recent roster change. They traded Ralez and Woolite for each other from Rockhat, and then Windowbow at support.
All right, good introduction there. So I think without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into the picks and bans phase. Coming out from EXN side is a Gnar ban targeted against Wicked, of course, for that top lane, and now it's switching on over. What kind of bans do you expect to be coming out from these two teams as they interact with each other?
I would mainly say it's going to be on next Neoho's side. It will probably be top lane focused mainly. Wicked's pull is often criticized. It could also be at Woolite. On the other side, I'm going to guess they're going to target Crazy Caps a bit with maybe an AD carry.
All right, let's see, come on in. And there's actually not a ban coming out from Denial right now. I don't know if they were penalized for anything like that or if it was a slip up, but based on the lack of a remake.
Okay, there's a Callista
Coming on in. And then looks like EXN is targeting Wendellbow with 2 support bans, Thresh and Morgana. So very
and then a Gnar in the top lane. Echo, because Echo's really popular in jungle top and mid right now. That makes sense. Godzuki plays him. I'm fairly certain Impaler has practiced him recently, so we shall see.
All right, so EXN actually choosing to pick up the Sivir priority first. Yes, Kelsey.
Well, they leave up Ryze.
Yep, that is the issue. I was going to mention that. It's like, do you expect them to go for the Ryze first pick here? Because due to Denial losing that ban, it seems like Ryze was left open. So instead of taking Ryze, who is still in a strong state, I believe this is what, patch 5.12 right here? Or is this 5.11?
Yeah, I believe it is 5.12. This is on Tournament Realm, so it is a different patch. Obviously, Ryze is still really strong. He still has the super short cooldown stun, so kind of perma-root people as you get later into the game and build some cooldown reduction. So.
Indeed, so we got the Ryze lock-in and the Alistar lock-in, Alistar being a really strong support, very tanky. Rek'Sai and Azir taken in for EXN. Rek'Sai is going to be going on that Impaler in the jungle. And Azir picked pretty early for Godzuki. Yeah, so what do you think of him picking the Azir that early on? You know, should it maybe wait for a counter-pick matchup, or is Azir just in that strong of a state for these two teams?
I think he's strong enough to pick blind. I think I think he's valuable, and Kozq's played him before as well, if I remember correctly. So I understand the Azir pick, and then Rek'Sai's obviously a strong early game jungler. So.
Right, yeah, no, I do agree with that definitely. So Woolite hovering over Draven right now. Kozq yet to be selecting a champion. If they were to go with Draven, they would basically be saying, all right, it's time to dominate the snowball for bottom lane, but Gragas is going to be locked in for the jungle. Understandable. Yep. He's probably the best jungler right now. Varus has received some nerfs. And then a Varus mid as well.
That's Varus mid, yeah. That makes sense. You have an AP top laner, Varus mid. It's fine. You can build AD, you can build the Malamune route. Gragas is about the only other early game jungler right now that matches You can play some Evelyn, but I personally prefer Gragas into Rek'Sai. It's something that can counter his early game pressure, or her early game pressure rather. So
yeah, gotta get the genders right, man. I mean, come on, it's just like females can play, females can be champions too, and they can be monsters as well. So, moving on to the last 2 picks for EXN, we still have a support and a top laner left yet to see. I would honestly be okay. I'm trying to think of what would be okay to lane against this Ryze. Probably a tank like Maokai would be maybe your best option. Give you really good combination with the Sivir.
Yeah.
Plenty of hard engage. Right now they're hovering over a Vayne.
He's very good with run up. There's the Maokai and there's
there it
Nautilus.
is, and a Nautilus support locked in as well. So excellent engage comp. Pretty
Tank
strong
engage,
siege and wave clear from the Sivir and the Azir. Maokai is able to go on a target. Nautilus great for following up. Rek'Sai great for following up. Really solid engage comp from EXN. So let's see if who Denial picks for their ADC. Corki being hovered, Jinx on over.
Jinx.
I'm not sure if I'd like the Jinx in this case, just because there is so much targeted CC. You have the Twisted Advance, you have the Nautilus ultimate.
I would not like the Jinx for Woolite. His positioning is not good for Jinx.
There is also like player error to consider, definitely. So
Yeah,
we're currently looking at the Vayne. Vayne, somewhat of a popular pick, kind of started up in Korea, maybe as a joke against Anarchy, one of the newer teams coming in.
Well,
People just try to use the style.
Vayne is decently good against Sivir because
Yes.
the only thing she can spell shield is the E.
Yes, very true.
Because it's nearly impossible to spell shield anything else.
A Tristana hover, we'll see if they lock that in. It would be really good. Plenty of our own disengage and self-peel with the Rocket Jump and the ultimate, and it is in for Woolite. In before they make it a mid Tristana AP, and then you have a ADC Varus, but nah, Varus is popular in the mid these days, and it's going to be an ADC Tristana, so we have a really strong scaling comp from Denial. It's going to be 2 tier lanes for them, because Ryze will be building tier, and the Varus will be building tier as well. So
I'm not surprised with the comp. I think both comps aren't too bad. I think they have the early game pressure to be able to help Azir. Likewise, Varus needs a little bit of help as well, just because he does scale. Yeah, I think this is not too bad of comp. You have AP jungler, even though he is tank. AP jungler, AP top, 80 mid, 80 carry, and then yeah, tank support. So that's fine.
Yeah. The way I see this game going down, EXN should look to use their hard engage early, get an advantage then, so they continue to punish these scaling laners in the top and mid from Denial in order to snowball the advantage before the Ryze becomes unkillable, before Varus' poke gets too much to handle, and before Tristana has time to really scale up and take over the game. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we are in for Game 1, EXN versus Denial. All right, it's going to be a while until we get into the rift. So we're going to look at this wonderful little logo on right here for the next little bit. So what kind of dank memes do you have for us today, Jacob? Any sort of like fun player insights?
I'm not sure, man.
Not sure.
Tomorrow, I think there will be something with Denial from what I hear, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
All right, very well.
You might want to change your stream title, by the way.
Oh, is it not updated yet? Hold on, let me look at it.
No, it is not.
Okay.
We're not playing Arkham Knight.
Oh well, I wish I was though. You know, so excuse me there. I'm a scrub. You're gonna hear that laugh a lot from me, folks. Update, update, update. Changes saved. Okay, check it now. It should be updated. Did I missed it? Yeah. Oh, hey, we got quite a bit of comments right there for everybody here, but I can't actually look at those because I'm most of the stream. I'm here in the game. Sounds live. But I'm still looking at the icon. Here we go. And right in the
there is a pause.
Yep.
There's a pause.
Welcome to Challenger, ladies and gentlemen. More like League of Challenged, am I right? Anyways, so we're starting us off very well with that kind of breed of joke.
Wonderful riot.
Now,
games.
to be fair, this is like an online tournament, to my understanding.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I mean, it's more like the players at this point. You know, like someone's mom's got to come on in and be like, Daniel, you need to pause the game. Mom, I can't. It's an online one. I know you're in the Challenger series there. You can pause it all you want. You know, something like that. if your mother is like mine and she knows a little bit about League because she puts up with your rants, then she can definitely say, nah, I know you're in a 5v5. You can pause that. You got half an hour. Come do the dishes or whatever. So, someone's getting yelled at. That's the joke for right now, I suppose. Anyways, so... Do you think there could be a lane swap coming in?
Whoa. Yes, I think there could be a lane swap coming in. Although I think the 2v2 would kind of punish Denial a little bit more affects Nihilo is smart. But for farming purposes, I think Denial will try and lane swap. So, be on them. I'm not allowed to see Twitch. It says I'm banned from Twitch. What?
See, this is where, like, you don't know, but I've been, like, secretly shutting you out from, like, all the avenues. I started out with, like, the really, really obscure stuff, like, you know, the DeviantArt account, which, man, I don't even know if you own one. I just started there, for example, when I was, like, you know, whatever. But now I got you off on Twitch, so if slowly and eventually, I will eventually just weed you out of my life for the brief moment you've come into it. So that's what you're really seeing right here. So, anyways.
So much for the help, jeez.
Yeah, right, yeah, no, this is how I pay back my friends. Some people would have you believe, actually. It's kind of sad. So... anyways, I also like how we're kind of just sitting here in the middle of the pause, kind of like bearing through it rather than like trying just to skip ahead through it.
You have been banned from using Twitch. What the fuck? Okay, I'll figure that out later.
Reddit is next for you, my friend. So, you know, just wait. Soon you will join Richard Lewis in the ranks of washed out Reddit stars, or whatever people are calling it these days. That's the plan for right now.
What did I even do? I haven't been on Twitch in a week. What the fuck?
Exactly. So kind of inappropriate. The mods are after you. They're hacking into all your personal stuff. Don't be surprised to wake up one morning and you're out of your personal Facebook. It's like, wait, what the hell?
Daily.email gets hijacked tomorrow morning.
Yes. Anonymous is like, yo. Anyways, play in 3, 2, and 1. And here we are, boys and girls. All the trinkets and the storable items coming out. Alistair pick up an ancient coin. That item has been recently buffed for the extra sustain, a little more golden lane, so pretty nice. Probably suggest that they're looking for more of a passive lane or even a lane swap. Now let's go in for the relic shield. That's my analysis of a starting point. Pretty standard item buys all around. Let's see where these players wind up along the map. So we talked about a lane swap for a moment. Sivir would be pretty good in a 2v2 against the Alistar Tristana. Be able to push the wave on in, keep him harassed under tower.
It also is worth the note. Denial's only had Woolite for like a week and a half, so is the synergy good enough to execute a lane swap and not be punished?
Right.
So.
All right. So, anyways, supports are gonna walk on in, and it's tank wars. This is League of Legends at its most exciting. Just people poking at each other like. This is exciting as the SMEB 1v2 last week for the Coup Tigers, where Doa dramatically put it as Tank Wars, 3 tanks enter and 3 tanks leave. It was hilarious.
Jesus Christ.
All right, so we get some early vision down.
You got a little bit chunked by that. Yeah, I was about to say Noxiac. Nautilus, rather.
Yeah,
so does Zazas.
Yeah, but damage is pretty measurable at this point. They got health pots, they got some regeneration. A lot of deep wards coming in from Denial Games, lighting up the Gromp and blue buff area, as well as the transit in the blue side jungle, and then a ward on the Raptor camp. So Zax is going to be doing the Maokai trick. He's going to start a couple of the saplings here, trying to kill the Raptors a bit fast before he goes into the bottom lane. AXN is going for a lane swap, heading to the top side. And this will not be seen by Denial because there are no deep wards to cover this rotation. So,
I slightly feel like that benefits Denial, even though Alistar's pressure is really strong level 2.
Yeah. Now well, at the same time though, EXN is looking to shut down this Rise in the 2v1, so that he doesn't get a solo lane against the Maokai. I think he's going
back to double jungle. That's what it looks like.
Yeah. So Denial picks up on this. Rise retreats on in. Wicked isn't going to get any experience from that first camp though, and. Nautilus no Siak, is that how you called it? No Siak? You're gonna have that pronunciation here, Jacob, my friend.
Noxiac.
Noxiac,
yes.
Okay. So he's gonna be looking in, doing the standard support, follow the junglers, hey guys, what's up? Really, it's just Nautilus missing his home in the jungle. He's like, I never wanted to support.
The patented elimination, I'm gonna walk up in your jungle and give you crap.
Yep. Meanwhile, Wendobo going for his own little trendsetter, just like, hey, what's up, Godzuki? I just wanted to say hi. You look cool, Lord of Shurima. Before he rotates on down. So both AD carries are getting some solo lane farm right now as the top end jungler pairs are walking off to do some double jungling. Zaxxas and Impaler sticking together a little longer while Rise is going to try and soak up some of this minion wave which is being pushed into tower. But we do see Impaler and Zaxxas actually coming up to the top lane. Looks like it's going to be a 4v2 dive.
Ooh.
Belgian Jock. Gragas. Gonna have the big alien's name again.
Baton Jacques.
Baton Jacques. That's very cool. I'm just going to call him Jacques. Jacques Rousseau. They are going to back out on the tower, so not going to try and fight that. Pretty smart, considering that there's a lot of dive potential.
Poked out mid lane.
All right, so Zaxxas is going to teleport and cancel it.
They're going to try to take this tower.
Yep, so they're opting in for a tower trade. Pretty big mistake from Zaxxas just to burn his teleport like that. I guess he wanted to try and go, I didn't actually see where it was going, but probably to the bot lane tower, soak up XP there, but he'd just be doped by the level 3 Alistar and Tristana, so smart of him to cancel it.
He went top lane with the ward. He went top lane into that ward in the bush right behind tower. I think they were going to try and fast push, but I'm not really sure. I don't think they really needed him to fast push. I mean, Sivir has W. I don't know. Interesting that he TP'd like that. Don't really think he needed to. Okay, so Denial gets the tower first.
Understandable. Triss has a lot of damage to towers even early on, given her explosive shot passive. Sivir, though, is taking the extra time to burn as many creeps as she can to the tower, make sure the wave is going to bounce back so that Zaxxas can approach it, and Wicked will have to overextend for it. Wicked's teleport is also down. Actually didn't catch when he used that, so bad. But right now looks like the standard lanes are going to come on in after we trade the bottom tower on EXN side and the top tower for Denial.
Denial, yep. This is Zir Varus matchups actually becoming slightly common. It was played, Incarnation played Azir, and I mean not Azir.
You're gonna have to hold on the history because we got a flash burned. Really good gank so far. Flash for a Nautilus Q, I take that trade any day. So now Kaz Q is only going to have his Ghost to rely on to get him to safety in the mid lane. So Impaler should be looking to target that immobile Varus. Hopefully get a kill on it. Jacques might have to stay around mid. Noxiac is...
And Noxiac's back.
And there's the Ghost.
And he burns Ghost.
And Noxiac make a name for himself. However, Jacques does come over the wall, but looks like there's not going to be any much more follow-up. The body slam not hitting anybody, and the shoulders there to stand guard. Noxiac just gonna kind of chill, give over a Godzuki minion creep, like say, hey, I'm just being a second jungler right now. Again, this Nautilus is such a good roaming support because his kit was designed for the jungle, so he has a lot of pressure. Meanwhile, Zaxxas, Wendelbow, Wicked and Wendelbow going on it, but Wicked doesn't have any more mana after the snare to really follow up, so Zaxxas is gonna get harassed a little bit, but nothing much to it after that. And Calm is returning to Summoner's Rift. Tristana is coming up here. It looks like Denial is opting in to keep on fast pushing towers with grouped up people. Here comes the dive onto there. Flash burn from Noxiac as takes tower out. Impaler does pick up the kill onto Koski. Meanwhile, dive going on in top lane. Backing off from there. Impaler does get picked up by Jacques. A little too low from the tower.
Killed by Ben Jacques.
So ultimately a 1-for-1 trade. Both kills going over to the jungler. An assist for the mid laners as well, so a bit of a wash right there. Jacques is going to pick up the CS at mid, while Woolite Wendelbow are going to push this top tower. Zax is trying to clear it best as he can. Tristana, though, getting...
It's a really good rotation to the top lane because they already got bottom tower and they just want to, like, they're rotating to get the top one as well.
Yes, using that Tristana early on.
2 tiers is pretty good.
Yes, so it's kind of looked like just a game of the fast pushing 80 carries. Sivir will take the tower first.
And bot lane too, yeah. Nihilo mirrored it. So.
Yeah, so that's what the game's looking right now. Sivir having the advantage in pushing the lanes down, although Tristana does push them well, given her explosive shot passive dealing damage to the wave. But Tristana having the edge in tower damage, it's just that Zaxxas kind of delayed the pushes with some of his wave clear. Teleport back up for both top laners. And right now we actually see quite a bit of vision on the blue side of the jungle for EXN, getting that vision on where Jacques is going to be roaming around. And they could possibly be setting up for a dragon if Impaler was down there. Not quite level 6, no Void Rush, just to dart across the map. He is going to be establishing the visual control, and EXN getting pretty good. The flash! Deborah's Divide into, that is a dead Varus. Kill goes on over to Crazy Caps, which is pretty good. That's going to help the siege composition snowball further, take these towers down earlier. They have a minion wave stack up in the mid lane. Jacques is coming on down. Vision control is being established, and really good job punishing the immobile Varus pickup.
Yeah, he burned both summoners. There's really not much he can do, so good rotation by Nihilo. They're going to go grab the red buff, punish him more. Good job.
All right. Now, the only thing happening for this right now is that Wicked is being left alone in the bomb lane to farm. Now, it's not as bad as it could be because he actually doesn't have his tier yet, so he's not stacking, he's not scaling it, he's just getting gold. But that is something that we have to be worthwhile. So, but I think that EXN is kind of like playing, alright, we don't have to really worry about the rise, we're just going to take our advantages anywhere that we can, clear out this vision. They have a great perimeter set up along the top side. Some of the vision on Dragon side has slipped up, though. It's probably trinket wards overall.
Blue blue buff over.
Godzuki. Alright, so what does Denial have to really do to kind of come back, or to get a little more of a foothold? Right now the gold's pretty even, just 6k down. But right now the Miller is kind of exposed. He does have Ghost, Flash is coming up soon, but where do you think Denial needs to make their next move to kind of match the plays that EXN is putting out?
I think they need to counter gank a little bit because honestly, they're gonna keep going for Cosq, and when you have a Maokai, and even an Azir, because Azir can Azir tech, Azir, Maokai, and Nautilus are all very good at punishing a mobile AD carries without any dashes or anything.
All right.
So.
Okay, now we do have a bit of like a mispositioning from Denial here. Tristana is in the top side soaking up all that farm. However, she doesn't have teleport. So this is giving EXN the ability just to freely move into the Dragon Pit, establish perimeter vision, and they're going to go ahead and start it right now. If Denial were to opt into it, it would be a 4v5 without their AD carry. So looks like they're just going to give it up. And first Dragon down at about, I'd say 9:25 about the time that they'll kill it. So.
Oh, they're gonna go for the blue buff too.
Yeah, no, let's see. The blue buff does go on over to Jacques, forced to smite it, so he couldn't unleash it over to Wicked. That's gonna be nice, kind of slow down Rise and his ramping. He does have his tier finally, so he will be stacking that. Nasiak gonna get a couple mission in, and it looks like EXN is doing a really good job of taking this map pressure that they have with the Sivir, with this high heavy engage, and constricting Denial down. That said, Tristana is getting quite a bit of free farm, not ahead of Sivir yet, but plenty of solo lane experience. Titan levels, all that, so Tristana is getting a free pass into the late game. Rise has a 10 CS lead over the Maokai, so looks like they're playing well. Go on.
The reason that Denial is still like keeping up in gold is because of the farm differences top lane and jungle. If you look at that, like they're down everywhere else, so yeah, just meant to leave that way.
All right. Very true on there. So, but then ultimately, I don't think it's too bad for Denial. They are keeping even in towers, and they do have a late game scaling composition. So it's okay for them to ease back, not really go for these objectives and take these unnecessary risks. Just go ahead, let the tiers stack up, get some farm on your big carries, and then come the late game, you should be able to outscale. So EXN is going to be looking to find ways to kind of begin to punish these guys, which is going to be a little harder to do because they do have these long open lanes in the sides, which that you can send either Wicked or Woolite to go ahead and farm basically for free. So we'll have to see how this all plays out.
Even though they did take the towers on each side, that kind of benefits Denial a little bit because it will just push in. And when it pushes in, they can just farm up. I would say Nihilo needs to end this before like 25 minutes, so they're gonna regret it because that's when you're gonna start getting all three of your carry champs.
Well, it certainly looks like they're going for it. They're taking out the mid tower. Wicked is teleporting in. He's going to complete the teleport. Tower is going to stay up, but it's basically got 1 or 2 hits left. I actually can't see the tower help. Yeah, about 1 or 2 hits. So Wicked does teleport in, not really doing a whole lot, but a group flash engage from Jock. He knocks in Godzuki, who gets eviscerated immediately. The fight's going down. Maokai's Maelstrom on through. Crazy Caps on the outside of the fight. Woolite jumps on in, looking to pick up the kills. Cooldowns are going down. Noxiac. Woolite now doesn't have a rocket jump. He still has flash and heal. Crazy Caps is pursuing. Boomerang Blade, not going to do a whole lot. Impaler goes to the wall, flashes onto Woolite, flashed by Noxiac, but right into the clutches of Wicked and the team. And it's going to be a double kill, triple kill for Cosq. Very good fighting. That was quite a fight to look at, actually. So. You were mentioning Woolite's positioning in that fight. He was going really aggressive, but ultimately it looks like kind of played out. What happened in that fight to really turn it for you in your eyes, Jacob?
Yeah, Woolite went a little bit to him when he tried to end Xaxis, which ultimately he did. But Cosq kind of changed that whole entire fight. That was a beautiful Varus ult after they committed into that fight, and he locked them all down, and that let him and Woolite kite around to clean up the fight. So. Yeah,
well, Jock also with the flash body slam into the explosive cast to knock Godzuki into the team. Azir basically didn't get to participate. Now, after that fight, though, mid towers are going to be traded back, but there is still a 1,000 gold lead for Denial. Ultimately, that was pretty well for a triple kill going on to Cosq. Pretty good pickup for him overall. Going to kind of help him after he was bullied around a little bit.
Going to get his item build out of the way, which is nice. So he already has his Manamune, he has his Brutalizer, he's going to be building in something else, probably a Last Whisper. So.
Alright, well, so really good fight for Denial. Tristana probably could use some of the kills over the Rise, but going on to the Varus also isn't bad. It's just going to amplify his poke and his wave clear with the piercing arrow. Xaxis just going to kill the Gromp. Maokai reminiscing on days when he used to be a jungler as well, before people decided to say, hey, be in the top lane. Basically, EXN's composition is kind of like the old junglers, kind of like the washed-up wannabes. And then they got like the new, like, prime-time jungler. That's what this really is, so shout-outs to them for that kind of composition.
Azir jungle was.
Yeah, the Azir jungle. Hey, man, I mean, I remember the Night Blue highlights on those. dying to the Wraith 1v1. That was a...
Don't say that name in stream, please.
Sorry. But if I look at the Twitch chat and I find that it's exploding in the memes, I take full responsibility, and I apologize. So, anyway, so
Beautiful.
Things going pretty well for
my
Denial
maze.
right now. Dragon is up in a minute 30, and we see both teams again kind of cluster in the mid lane. Now, there is a teleport advantage for Zaxxas right now, so if we can keep Wicked up in the top side, he should be able to have the teleport advantage and come on in. Depends on when Wicked's teleport does come back up. It might be up in time just for Dragon, or there might be a small window when Zaxxas could teleport before Wicked can. So that's the thing to watch out for. But right now, Denial's going to get all the vision down. They're going to get some pressure. Bot lane duo is going to just go in, take some farm, and EXN's going to look in, clear out some vision, and probably get control of the Rift Scuttler right here. So, and Wicked actually rotating down already, but he doesn't have like a whole lot of mana for the fight. Looks like he's just going to farm Raptors while he's waiting. Blue buff steal coming in for EXN as well. Going to get that onto Godzuki, so a lot of resources going into the Xir, which is really good. He's shown some... Started catching out Gragas, and oh, a missed ultimate from Godzuki. Not a good pick, especially when Wendigo, meanwhile, coming in. Teleport for Zaxxas. The fight breaks out. They pull in Wendigo. He pops the ultimate. He's taking no damage as he's got the entire EXN lineup. Now they're coming in right now. He's still no silver ultimate. Another great ultimate from Jock to disrupt the team. Fight's going around. Jock goes down as Noxiac goes down. Jungle for support. Woolite forces a flash and rocket jump away as EXN holds their ground. And it looks like Dragon is coming up in 10 seconds, so this should be a Dragon for EXN since the jungler is down and the rest of Denial is going to have to back away. Looks like they kind of overcommitted to it. Should have been looking to disengage with the scaling composition. Instead, they tried to fight it. What was your thoughts on that fight?
I think that was a decent engage for them. They didn't, or like, Alistar ulted and then healed himself, so he kind of, like, didn't take any damage. They almost got Woolite, pretty close. Koshki whiffed. I think if Koshki would have hit his ultimate, then it could have been different, but he completely whiffed because Bazong Jock knocked him out with the explosive cast as he shot his ult. So
right, that would have been enough
communication.
Yeah, that would have been enough lockdown to let the AoE from Denial's composition, which there's a lot to consider. You got the Varus ultimate going through, the Gragas barrels coming in, Rise's ultimate once he pops it, Tristana's explosive shot once it goes off. There's a lot of AoE on damage in this composition. So the fact that the ultimate didn't miss, definitely a big point in the fight. And I also feel like Godzuki, like he should have been punished more for missing the Azir ultimate, but ultimately kind of didn't really go back to haunt him right there. So a little over aggressive from EXN, trying to get a pick onto the mobile Gragas, who still had flash and his body slam. Really though, a play by centimeters. If you connected the Emperor's Divide before the body slam goes through, then, I mean, Gragas would have to be forced to burn flash, and, you know, it would have been mission accomplished anyway, but overall,
very close game. The biggest thing that I see is the difference between Wicked and Zaxxas and CS. There's a surmountable lead up there, and it's keeping Denial slightly ahead. It's only like
and there is still, about a
1,500,
1,600 gold advantage right now, so, CS lead for Crazy Caps though on the Sivir, but Sivir kind of falls off in damage late game, not in terms of how much she can output, but in terms of the reliability which she puts out. She is shorter range than Tristana. Tristana is gaining those levels. She'll begin, I think, well, she already outranges Sivir to begin with, but she'll become more and more safe as the game goes on. Barely outranges Caitlyn at level 18 since her rework. But that's another factor to consider. So ultimately though, coming in at 17 minutes with like about almost a 2,000 gold lead after they took the mid tower. And they're going to knock down the Shurima tower as well. I mean, Denial's in a very good spot. Things are looking pretty cozy for them, even though there is this dragon deficit. If EXN can keep up the dragon control and maybe get to 5 stacks, then there is an opportunity for them to contest with Denial in the late game. But if Denial can wrest that control from them, then it should be fairly simple for them to close out the game, barring any mistakes. So, anyways, now it's just that time of the game where we're grouping up and farming. We got the Azir soldiers playing Minion Farm Simulator 2015. Got the Sivir Boomerang Blade to help out as well, so it's pretty hard actually for Denial to siege against this composition of EXN due to the wave clear coming out, as well as a really lack of like reliable isolation engage outside of Jacques or Wendobo picking somebody off, which is pretty good, but it doesn't really match up to like a Maokai and a Knowledge just getting on top of you and then Rek'Sai following up.
A few more items and Wicked will be able to bring super reliable CC where he can just start perma-stunning people with so much CDR. So
yes.
Soon.
Plenty
it's gonna
of
take him a little bit. Once he gets that tier completed into a Archangels, it should be a little bit better. So yeah.
All right. So Sightstone's
thank you to the wonderful Twitter user that that told me it was a VPN problem for Twitch. So I'm back in Twitch chat, boys.
All right. Thank you. All right. Yay! So I actually can't look at the Twitch chat. I got this thing full screen, so I don't know what kind of reign of chaos is happening right there. What people are.
We got some spammers.
Oh, of course. I mean, I don't have any mods on this thing, so and hey, let the spammers come. Let them have their playground for a little bit. This is okay. I guess I'm enforcing spammer, which is actually kind of weird given my personality. But you know what? I'm not big yet. I'll allow it. It's cool. It's okay. It's okay. We all family here. We all family here. We just a bunch of dank memers in a dank world of memes. You know, I was actually really upset because it took me a while to figure out how to record the Dark Knight. Never mind that, Silver Ultimate on the hunt popped. They're looking for Wendelbow, Engage coming in. He's going to pop the Ultimate Flash over the wall. A lot of resources burned. Actually, just a Silver Ult used by EXN to trade, to get Wendelbow's Ultimate and Flash 2 minutes before Dragon spawns. So the Flash is going to be down for that fight. The Ultimate should be back up, and they're going to transition this into blue buff again. This is the 3rd time we've seen it this game. EXN really exerted control on that buff to keep it away from Wicked or Cosq on Denial's preference and give it on over to Godzuki. So they're putting quite a bit of resources into him, and looks like he's working on a Zhonya's Hourglass right now. Pretty good for him. Also opted in for a yellow trinket upgrade, getting more vision. While we have two
blues on Denial, yeah.
So yeah, ultimately pretty good play. So back to the farming game. We had a moment of excitement for a moment. Brought to you by Sivir.
Cosq just got his last whisper. That should help.
All right, and then Flash Engage from Zaxxas while Godzuki is coming on up. Wicked being on the chase right now, and it looks like he's just going to die. Yep, it's going to be a long, painful death with his rise. A lot of ultimates, a lot of spells being burned. Godzuki taking him down, so Wicked doing the smart thing, realizing, all right, you got me. I'm not going to give a Flash, not going to even give you that service. Just go ahead, kill me, it's fine. I'll just stack my rod while I'm dead, so another pickup, though, for Godzuki, which is going to be pretty nice for him. Get him to complete the Zhonya's earlier, make him a little more safer as he goes in for these flashy plays. Tristana is pushing in the bot lane right now, and Denial is going to get some vision set up around the dragon area. Pink on it right now. And Impaler kind of waiting in base, and he's probably going to Void Rush over there. He's got a whole tunnel network to choose from. It's kind of like pick and choose.
The main tanks on Nihilo, the Maokai and the Nautilus don't have that much armor. And Cosq just got a last whisper.
Right, so that's going to be pretty effective.
He has a lot of pin. Yeah.
Yeah, so there is that. So if Denial can kind of keep them away, which they do have quite a bit of disengage actually. You do have the Tristana ultimate, you have Varus to lock people down, Gragas to peel away, Alistar. So they should be able to get some poke in. But there's not much poke besides that coming out. Impaler though, walking up a Cosq, it's going to be a bait for it. Wendelbow gets a 2-man knockup as the ultimate goes down on the Noxiac. It's going to hit Gold and Blue. Zaxxas in the back line sitting on Cosq. Impaler going to follow up, and they're going to kill Cosq immediately before the fight starts. Backing up right now. Zaxxas is going to fall for his troubles. Kill going on over to Wicked, and both sides are backing off, trading a top laner for EXN and the mid laner for Denial. Their poke is gone. Dragon is live, but Denial has positioning. And the Rift Scuttler is going to go on over to Crazy Cap. Shoutouts to Boomerang Blade here to steal your buffs all day long. And now the waiting begins, so does Denial opt into this fight, even though it's a 4v4? They do have, like, their main carries, the Rise and the Tristana here. Fairly good positioning, no teleport. Veiljaw going in for the Flash Engage, forcing out Noshiak's Flash. Wicked flashing, but not in range with the snare. There it is, on to Godzuki, the Emperor's Divine, locking them down as Impaler goes to the back line. He's going to die, though. Woolite's going to go off, chasing the back line, letting Impaler get away from everybody else, as Woolite kind of flounders about by himself, but he's pushing the rest of EXN back. Denial's going to regroup, clear out a couple tunnels, maybe make their way towards Dragon. Zaxxas is back alive, but Godzuki is down for another 20 seconds. Cosq is rejoining the fight, and it looks like Denial, after sticking around, getting a pretty good pick-off, is going to take this Dragon, although Void Rush from Impaler coming on in. He's got a Home Guard. He's got vision of the Dragon, but he's in the pit now. He's going for the steal. Can he get it right now? Nope, it's going to go right on over to Jock, and that's a dead Rek'Sai for her troubles. So all in all, pretty exciting turn of events right there. So that's more than enough to make up for a little bit of time that we spent just clearing out waves and preventing me from talking about my Batman escapades. So there you go. League of Legends, everybody.
Woolite had really good positioning around the wall at the beginning, but then he chased down Crazy Caps and didn't get him.
Yeah,
I think
so,
they should have turned to Impaler, but that second fight was good, and they got the dragon, so
yeah. Had
it could be a
Woolite
pretty good turning point for Denial.
Yeah, so this game is coming more and more into their grasp. It's their first dragon of the game. They now have a 3,000.
They have a gold lead, yeah.
So things are looking really good for their scaling composition. Rise's Rod is almost fully stacked. Rasana now has Infinity Edge and Phantom Dancer. Looking really good for them so far. And yeah,
I'm gonna
Woolite
guess
could
the
have turned.
2 tiers are close.
Yeah, they're close to being
actually in
stacked.
client,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
Archangel
but
is not yet complete, nor is the Manamune, but I imagine they'll come online, as the Monte Cristo likes to say about the tiers, in just a few moments or two, probably by 26 minutes. I think actually Rise is fairly late, so it might be a bit longer than that, but Archangel gives you like 8 mana per stack, so it stacks fairly quickly once you get it. Anyways though, despite that dragon fight, look at the vision that EXN has set up. Alright, they got some wards in Dragon side, alright, that's kind of cool, but they got Baron warded on several angles,
covered, yeah.
So that's quite a bit of control, which is exactly what you need, because if Denial gets their hands on that Baron minion wave, it's going to be able to be enough force to break through this wave clear coming out from EXN's composition with his Sivir and with the Azir. So very smart of them to get the priority on that. They're not going to be looking to sneak it just yet.
I think it'll be a big deal once Azir... Oh, fight.
Yeah, a little bit of a fight. They're going to Wendobo down a bit. He's saving his ultimate, gets pretty low, but he's gonna, he's gonna keep a cool head about it. He's like, all right, I don't need it just yet, so he's just gonna back on off. And actually, we don't see any lockets coming in for EXN, which I guess just if you're only dealing with the Rise right now, 1 AP damage dealer, like I guess you don't really have to worry about it. But considering how much AOE does, you should probably get it. So
they're starting a Baron.
Yep, starting up the Baron. They have vision on Cosq and Jacques in the bottom side. That's what prompted them to do it, because they saw them going for their blue buff. Their first blue buff of the game, actually, since their proper jungle start. Zax is going to get hit up by Wicked a little bit. And despite the Baron start, looks like they're going to back off. They do have a bottom minion wave, though, slow pushing, so Denial's going to have to answer that. Probably just send Wicked on down with his teleport. So a little bit of the Baron dance is going to begin right now, at least until we get into the Dragon Boogie. So we got the Baron dance, Dragon Boogie. That's what we're going to call it right now. Even though it would probably make more sense to call it the Baron Boogie and the Dragon Dance. That way you get the alliteration for it. So there we go. Humor, ladies and gentlemen. If we can call it that.
The Azir almost has the Zonios, which is going to be a really big deal.
Yeah, speaking of the devil, there it is.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty big because he's getting jumped on by Young Jock, so...
Yeah, so if he gets isolated, he can buy himself a couple seconds with the Zonios, which is good. We also have a Glacial Shroud coming in for the Maokai, so he's finally getting some of that armor in. He's going to be going for that Frozen Heart. Pretty standard affair for him. Noxiac going to pull himself into a Piercing Arrow, take a bit of damage for his trouble. Varus is currently working on an BF Sword item. I don't know if it's a Bloodthirster.
Wicked has this upgraded here.
Yep, there it is. Seraph's coming on in.
That's
Zero
really
Tower
good.
goes down, so yep. Bunch of item power spikes coming on in. And we get a hook onto Woolite and the Naka falling in, but there's no fall of engage. Woolite just able to safely jump away. Noxiac gets isolated from the team and gets picked off. Explosive cast from Jacques, pushing EXN away. And they're going to be forced flash from Zaxxas as Denial is chasing them down. I was going to say on the haunt, but that's Sivir's ultimate, so they're going to be turning around, pick up Mr. Krabs for their troubles. A little bit of poke coming on through onto Cosq. And they're going to get some vision on the Baron, but not going to start it. Don't want to go into that choke point against the Azir who took out poke. He actually takes a little bit of damage right there, Godzuki, so... Looks like Denial's just going to take the kill, get a little pressure down, get some vision reestablished, clear out some of the wards EXN had, and maybe get this mid tower. They might have a moment. I don't think the minion wave's big enough. Well, let's see how much Tristana actually does to this tower, and... Alright, fair amount. Doesn't have a lot of AD just yet. Yeah, more than half. They should be able to get off of this wave unless EXN can clear the way fast enough. We have Ancient Talisman used, and they go on his Zaxxas. Tower does fall down. Cosq gets hooked in by Noxiac, forced to flash away. Whiffs the ultimate, but Zaxxas will go down, so ultimately Denial getting more pressure as they barrel on in. Speaking of barrels, Gragas has one for you, Noxiac, as he gets sniped off by Cosq with a Piercing Arrow. Locked down for days. Wonderful with the flash pulverized knockback. Doing that all game on Maganzuki. And Denial with their scaling composition definitely take control of this game. 8,000 gold lead. Inhibitor down at 28 minutes. Gonna fall on back, maybe eyeball the Baron for a little bit. 3 down for EXN. It's probably safe to say, barring any sort of crazy Wool-like mispositioning or misplays in the fight, that Denial's got this one in the bag. So good job, Wicked. Good job, Wicked and team.
Cosq's missing a lot of ultimates, but it doesn't really matter. They've got their reliable CC and Gragas and Alistar and Wicked now because he can just spam W's because he has some CDR. Honestly, I said they needed that Nihilo needed to win by 25 minutes, and they haven't. So this is going to be really hard for them to come back.
All right.
They're trying to get a catch with Koshku, and they can't because Alistar's there.
All right, yeah. So just kind of back up. Now they got super minions to fight. Dragon up at 16. EXN going to be looking to get some vision around that. Maybe try and go for on it. If they get the positional advantage, they can use the Azir to clog up choke points, keep Denial away, deny them the poke. But I mean, there is a potential risk that DNL Denial that is, could just go for the Baron while EXN sets on the Dragon, but it looks like they're just going to opt in for a Dragon fight.
Dragon.
A lot of sidewave control from EXN. They consistently have sidewaves, always pushing in. Beljon going for the steal. Going to go to Impaler this time.
Got it.
And we're going to have the tanks butting heads for a bit. Noxiac getting hit by a crit there. Impaler and Zax is caught in the back of the Dragon Dome. Zax is going to have to give his life up, let his team escape. And that's the top laner down.
Well, it's fed now.
So, yeah, and Tristana coming into this fight did complete the last Whisper. That is now an item advantage over the Sivir, so with the meager amount of armor that EXN does have built up right now, it's just not really a whole lot to stop them from ripping through the composition. Bloodthirster completed for Varus, that's what the BF Sword was for. Plenty of good stuff, and EXN going to use the Azir Tower in the mid lane when there's no minions there. Probably could have done it on the enemy mid our tower where it used to stand. A little more pressure there.
Koshku still hasn't stacked his tier item, which is really interesting. So.
Yeah, so he probably got it fairly late. I actually didn't get to see
when he picked it up. Gonna get really, really strong once he finishes it too. It's gonna be another spike.
Yep, so in the meanwhile, Alistar working on the Righteous Glory, just get all the movement speed for days. Nihilo is still working on his. Righteous Glory complete for Zaxxas for quite a long time, been there for like 10 minutes or something like that. Azir still sitting on his 2 items, not really getting anything new. No large rod from him
just
for a hat.
Two blasting wands.
Hey man,
going glass cannon.
Yeah, hey man, the Akimbo perk from Call of Duty, man. I mean, there was some pretty good times with that. He's just reminiscing about those days, perhaps. I don't even know if he played Call of Duty, but he saw Wild Turtle.
The Call of Duty organization that may give him the build tip.
Yeah. There you go. You know, he saw Wild Turtle build the 2 Vamp Scepters and was inspired, like, I want double items as well. Except it's gonna be blasting wands. Double the blast. Muramana now fully stacked for Koshku. 30 minutes, so it took him a little while to get there, but just like the story of the tortoise and the hare, he did get there, surely. It was slow, but surely. And now we're back to a bit of the Baron Boogie, if you will. I'm gonna just, market that to the day I die, apparently. So I'll probably give it up in a week or 2. Don't worry about it. Alright, so now Denial, 9,000 gold lead, scaling composition. Should be a fairly simple affair for them to keep the advantage up, keep the pressure in. They do have the mid tower down, but they're not really getting the side lane control that they need to. EXN has been consistently getting these side waves to push in their favor, and so Denial hasn't been able to go to those lanes and pick up advantages from them. That said, Wicked is pushing in the bot lane. He does have teleport. Zaxxas does not, so while he is down there, he's not going to be able to answer should Denial say, hey, let's do a Baron call. They pick up the minion wave there. Woolite off split pushing top side.
Koshku finished up his Manamina.
Yeah, I think I mentioned that. So. Either way, always good to hit on those points. Tristana has a longsword right now, which is actually interesting because I don't really know what he built that to. Oh yeah, excuse me. No, never mind. That's not interesting. It's going to go into the Bloodthirster. Yeah, she doesn't have license that yet. Anyways, Niall starting up a Baron. Who cares about item stuff? Shattuck going to use the ultimate on the Koshku. Koshku going down pretty early, but Baron does fall for Denial. Coming on into the pit. Imperial getting really low. He's got no backup in the line. Now Godzuki's all on his own. Exhausted. Forces the Empress Divide and the Flash out to disengage. 2 for 1 and a Baron going on over to Niall. Flash engage from Windowbow. He's been on point all game. Waiting right there. Okay, so what he did right there is that he was waiting for Crazy Caps to use the spell shield, waited out before he used the W because he flashed polarized in. But then Crazy Caps just flashed out. So that was that interaction there. That's why Windowbow just kind of paused for a moment when he had Sivir in his grasp. Probably could have knocked him back, but doesn't really matter a whole lot. They're going to rotate this top wave, but if you look at the minion wave, is there one coming in? Yes, there is, and there's a cannon minion with it. It's that time of the game. Cannon minion every wave. EXN is going to try and clear the wave out. Denial going to burn that talisman for the disengage. Imperial's going to come back up. Yeah, looking to kind of catch him out while Koshku is in there looking for the 44. Wicked going to wait, get a little bit of a parting slap to the face to Imperial, like, how about you, sir? But ultimately, Denial's just going to walk away pretty much free for it. And this is one itemization change that we're starting to see in some supports since I think it was 5.10 when they reworked the utility tree. They also gave a buff to the ancient coin line. So now what some of these supports are doing, and what Alistair tends to do, is that he'll get the Talisman of Ascension for the extra movement speed, and because it's on such a short cooldown, if you go 21 points into the utility tree, you basically have the movement speed active on like a 20-second or 30-second cooldown. I forget the actual number, but it's within that range. So you can get that
really
for disengage.
good for like it's really good for engage supports. I remember when Red Scories first came out and Annie support was really popular around the same time. Korean supports were building the spell thieves at first, but they would go back and switch to the upgraded ancient coin.
Right.
And then build a Red Scory so they can run
a lot
up
of
and
poke onto
pop
him.
the
He's going to have to base. Really
Oof.
close. Really close. But yeah, your points on the engage support might have to wait for a moment as a little bit of a skirmish, a little bit of poke. But yeah, so now what supports can do though with these 2 movement speed items, that you can use the Righteous Glory for the engage because it gives you movement speed towards enemy units, and then you can use the Talisman for disengage just because it's just a flat movement speed. So go fast in, go fast out. That's the way that Alistair rolls. So anyways, grouping on the bot side. EXN again, look at this huge top lane that they have pushing out against them, but ultimately though, it's not really doing a whole lot. It hasn't been getting the towers, it's just kind of been giving Denial a bunch of free farm in this game. A lot of vision down on the Dragon side, though, when EXN moved on in. Just look at the wards that are on the map. Unfortunately, they're not doing them any good because they're pushing to their tower right now due to Denial's huge advantage and the Righteous Glory used, on the hunt used, both teams kind of running around. Wimblebo goes on in, gets a 2-man knockup on the Noxic Dexus. Great ultimate from Lock to disrupt everything. Knockup's going on through, and Denial slowly winning away at EXN. Godzuki goes down, Zaxxas limping away as Crazy Cap's not able to do enough damage. He doesn't have the last Whisper to really rip through this front line, even though there's not a whole lot of armor. Doesn't have lifesteal, so he can sustain through the fights. And Denial with this Tristana is going to rip through this tower, take this inhibitor down, and like we were mentioning earlier, with this big of a gold lead and this kind of skill and composition, Denial basically has this one in the bag. Going to pick up the second inhibitor, the mid one, on the way out.
I'm a little uncertain why they popped on the hunt there, and it was actually really smart by Denial. They went up and they popped their movement speed items and ran back. Well, Nihilo turned around and popped their movement speed items and ran at Denial. Denial has such a big advantage that they just turned on him and you know.
Yeah,
AP Rabadon's Death Cap Wicked over there turned around and blasted everyone, so I'm really...
Impaler trying to keep the team driven. Jock failing the body slam over the wall. He does have flash. Is he going to use it? Is he going to stay for it? He's going to die, and that's going to be the 4th dragon for EXN. That's a pretty big one, actually, because that gives them a window. If they can live through the next 6 minutes and get to the 5th buff of dragon, there is a chance for them to maybe pull ahead in a team fight. It's going to be a long haul for them, though, because it seems like with the power of 5th dragon, it's not like you get it and you win no matter what. It kind of needs some power there. EXN going to try and get on some damage onto the tower. Godzuki's not, there with them, so they're going to have to back off of the poke. Doesn't even get the mid, or the bottom, in their tower, and they're just going to go ahead.
Gold lead as well, so there's a really big deficit for Nihilo that they're going to have to overcome.
Yes.
Look at the item advantage top lane, like he's got over double his farm.
Yes. Yeah, so
EXN compared to 1.
EXN, while they did a good job of keeping the cost queue down, they did let Wicked just get a whole bunch of free farm, and the slow pushing Maves that I mentioned earlier and have been rambling on about this game really kind of just gave Wicked a bunch of free farm just to go in and clear out whenever he wanted to. Rise can clear the wave so fast that he can just accumulate those farm in breakneck speed, in all honesty.
Well, even keeping cost queue down, he got the triple kill earlier, and now he's, gotten back in farm.
Yeah, so that triple kill really undid all the efforts that EXN had put into their early game. So, very unfortunate events. Noxiac going to be hit up a little bit. He's going to shield through most of it, kind of just limp on away. And the noose is tightening for EXN as Denial is going to be pressing down. They're going to ride this top minion wave in. Baron up in a minute 20. Probably try and get the pressure. Impaler chilling in the mid lane. Going to try and clear the minions out before they begin to hit the base.
And lose top tower, they can't contest.
Yep, basically. There's just nothing they can really do.
They lose the game.
Yep. Tristana just eats through objective so fast with her explosive shot at this point in the game that you can't really hold on to the objective if there's even a single minion wave get under that tower. So
he bought fur boots. I kind of feel like fur boots are specially made for Walleye because he actually struggles so hard with getting good positioning and having that extra movement speed. It's a blessing for him. So.
Shots fired. Shots fired on you. Even in victory, you can't give him a compliment. I like it. Anyway, so. Anyways, Ancient Tiles have popped in, and Zaxxas is immediately melted. That's the tank dying in second. Godzuki trying to be a hero, using the Emperor's Divide to push the enemy team into there. And EXN is going to be wheeled down. They do get Wicked for the troubles. Noxiac is going to go down. Impaler getting blown out of the fight. Windowblow missing a knockup. And Godzuki picking up a double kill. Playing hero for the fight, but here's the Zonias from him as Jacques goes onto him. He's going to be picked up, though, pretty quickly. And there's a body slam. Plenty of love for you, Emperor of Shurima. And that will be a 2 for 3 on Denial.
Survive.
Yes,
oh, that poke.
But there is plenty of poke coming in, and minions bearing down on the Nexus towers and the last inhibitor tower of the game. Koski low, really low. Impaler wants to get a piece of the champ. Wendigo coming in to peel. Flash burn from Koski as he's ripping down Impaler. Golden Jock going to fight with Crazy Caps, and Crazy Caps just going to be able to kind of walk away. There's a teleport from Zaxxas as he gets blocked with a home guard, but they will pick up Jock for their troubles. And right now, all the thing that Ixion can really do is try for a Baron, it looks like, as they're kind of crawling out. I don't know if they can get away with it. There's too many minions bearing down on their base. Now, there is an opportunity to do it.
He's up too, but there's really nowhere to teleport. I guess he could go top lane and try to run with home guards, but...
yeah, but...
Sure.
Alright, so this is actually a good call from EXN. If they stay in the base, clear out the minion waves, they're going to lose the game anyway. So take this opportunity. You have some of Denial dead. You have this one window. Get the Baron. Wicked's going to come on in, and oh my gosh. He almost gets Crazy Caps for his trouble, and the Baron might finish his work, but nah. Baron's going to say, all right, I'm going to focus this one. Wendigo coming in now as the rest of Denial's catching up. Blue Light is about to come on in for him. There it goes. Going to hit the Impaler. Misses the explosion shot, jumps on over. Baron is going to go down for EXN, so if they can disengage from this, they should be able to get away. And looks like they will, despite the chain of corruption. Impaler going to just void rush right back to the base. Yeah.
I think he needs to put a couple more practice hours in Boros. Good God. Every ult. He's missed like 5 this game.
Yeah, very, very true so far. Let me do a thing and actually turn down the game volume just a little bit. Does add kind of the excitement a bit. I think we've been doing okay as far as that goes. You've been coming loud and clear for me. Hopefully I'm coming in loud and clear for the audience.
Nice.
Alright, so
wonderful.
Baron call coming on in. So now EXN is going to buy themselves
referral code bots in the Twitch chat.
Oh, goody! So we can get even more people to come on in. Yes, good, bring them. I don't know. I don't know what impersonation I really want to go for. I was probably going to be like an Emperor Palpatine, but there's nothing really like let flow through unless it's like good. Let the referral flow through you. I don't really know if that's appropriate for this situation.
Yes, that next item that Koski's building is going to be a QSS or Macario rather.
Yep. So that's going to be good for him to get CC. Now, EXN is getting the waves pushed out. Their inhibitors are up, so they don't have to worry about minions barreling in on the open Nexus. And they have position for this dragon. If they can get this 5th dragon, there is this opportunity for them to keep holding on in the game. And here's also another thing, okay? There's a lot of items that Zaxxas hasn't built yet. He's way far behind in items. A lot of Denial's lineup is already approaching like the 5th or 6th item. The power from Denial is going to cap out at a point, and they're not going to get any stronger. EXN, on the other hand, though, is going to have more room. Sivir still needs one more item for her build. Nautilus, is going to get a little tankier. Rek'Sai can get a couple more items. And Zaxxas can finally get more rounded into the tank that he was born to be. A lot of poke coming in right there. But if EXN can hold on out, get a little more farm from this, they should be able to catch up in power to Denial somewhat. They've been playing with a massive gold deficit, which has really agitated the disadvantage because of the scaling from the Denial. So if they can kind of catch on up to Denial as they cap out in terms of power, there is a little bit of breathing room for them to be had this game. Advantage still in Denial's favor, though. But right now, if they keep this dragon, if they keep Denial occupied at dragon, look at these huge side waves already for them. Denial is going to have to answer those or risk losing some of those side outer towers. But if they do that, then they would risk up getting a 5th dragon. So EXN really consistently having the side lane pressure over Denial all game long, and it might begin to boon out for them right here. Void Staff is completed.
This next fight is make it or break it.
Basically, so I mean, if Denial wins, easy win. If EXN wins, they still got a long climb to go, but there's a chance for them, is the bottom line.
It's closer than it should be at this kind of gold deficit.
Yes, I do agree with that. So anyways, Woolite going to be clearing out bot lane, and here comes the engage from EXN onto Wendobo. Koski outside his ultimate snaring through the lines of EXN. Noxiac is the first to go down. Woolite now is time to join. He jumps right into some Sand Soldiers. Godzuki to push into the carries. He will zone his efforts divide, cutting them off from his team as the rest of EXN gonna have to kite up back.
Crazy Cast in his positions.
And yes, he's gonna be picked on up, so Woolite is able to farm. Godzuki, man, his Azir play this game in terms of just like getting into the back line, zoning the back has been really good, but the only problem with it is that when he does it, there's no other follow-up. He's got no other CC, no other support to really get a kill on those carries, and that's why we were able to see them just re-engage the fight after they kite him back. So, 2 for 3, denial of favor, and they're looking to be pushing on into the mid. Zaxxas and Impaler probably not going to be able to stop Cosq, Woolite, and Wicked from taking these inhibitors, and they will be on to the Nexus for them. 20-second death timers. Ultimate again coming out from Varus. He's got so much CDR that he can use it so briefly.
Nobody's touching Woolite.
Yep, Woolite is just going to end the game right there, and GG, well played. Denial taking it away, and so really impressive scoreline overall for their main carries. So we mentioned before that EXN basically had to end the game 25 minutes, or else it was going to be nigh impossible to... very difficult in order for them to come out ahead with that win.
Yep.
So, given that circumstances, I think that we were pretty accurate with that. The scaling went on through, and as we mentioned before, a lot of effort was put down in shutting down Cosq early on, and his Varus punish him for the immobile champion Varus. But once he got the triple kill, all that was basically undone. So that's always a rough time for them.
It was good pressure by Nihilo throughout the game, despite the really, really big gold deficit at the end, but... yeah, it just couldn't hold up. Like, honestly, there was so much going on Denial's side, and Rise gets ridiculous that late, and Varus, plays nicely. So. All
right, yeah. So, anyways, so what was going to happen right now, folks? We're going to take about a 10-minute break. So we'll be back at, let's see, it's like what, 4:57 my time, 5:57 Central Time. About like that. So we'll take a break, give our voices a bit of a rest, maybe hit the bathroom up, but we'll be right back for the next game in our series, which is going to be, Jacob, fill me in for right here because I can't
Overclockers UK versus Dignitas EU.
Excellent. All right, so stay on tuned, folks. We're going to just kind of relax for a little bit. Thanks for joining us today. All 11 of you, probably was like 20 or something earlier. I know that's what the highest number I saw. So anyways, we'll be back in just a little bit. Catch you all then.